Here are 5 tricks that you can learn on your concrete snowboard. So why is this skateboard called a concrete snowboard? Well, you've got these spinning wheels in the middle, which are closer to the ground than these edge wheels. And because of this, you reproduce the 2 edges of a snowboard. You've also got these hooks to hold your weight when you go to each edge. And so overall, you end up with a board that rides just like a snowboard.
These boards can be a little bit difficult to pick up at first, and so learning some nice easy tricks makes the learning process a lot more enjoyable.
Now, although these tricks are straightforward and are perfect for total beginners, I would recommend that you learn how to come to a complete stop both frontside and backside, and also that you're very familiar with the hooks and how to jump out of them if you need to do that. And as always, just like any extreme sport, you can definitely fall off on a freeboard. So I would highly recommend wearing wrist guards and a helmet. So once you've got all of that set up, you can learn these next 5 tricks. Now, the first trick that I would recommend a beginner learn on the freeboard has got to be the falling leaf. Now, this trick is so unique to freeboarding because it's completely inherited by snowboarding, and it allows you to drift seamlessly, gliding above the ground on these spinning center wheels, just like you would on the flat base of a snowboard.
To practice this, just take what you know from the frontside drift to stop and try and use less and less weight on your heel side. As you practice this, you'll discover that you can actually drift going completely straight forwards and still pick up speed on the freeboard. Once you know how to do this, it's not particularly difficult to add a little bit more direction to each side of the falling leaf. I like to lift my weight off the centers a little bit to help initiate each side of the drift. This trick is so much fun if the road is very smooth, and even if it's quite steep as well.
Perhaps not surprisingly, the next trick has got to be the standard Ollie. Now, as you can see, the freeboard does have hooks, which absolutely makes it easier to get the board off the ground. However, because of these spinning center wheels, actually you don't really want to land directly on them because you will very quickly break your board. The trick is you have to take off and land on a particular edge.
You can take off on either your heel or toe side edges, and I would highly recommend learning both of these in your preferred stance.
Alright, so I know that a lot of you guys have probably predicted the next one, and it is definitely the 360 spin on the freeboard.
I think that most people picking up a freeboard will want to learn this trick. It's basically Freeboard 101, and they look insanely cool, especially when they're done either very quickly at high speed or very slowly at high speed. The trick to doing 360s is this interplay of having enough weight on the particular edge so as not to catch the other edge, but to not have so much that you cut all of your speed. It does take some practice, but if you use your line of sight and rotate your shoulders at the same time to initiate the turn, you'll learn it in no time. And the more experience you have with these 360s, the more you can play with the speed at which you do them to make them look even cooler.
Next up is the frontside 180. Now, 180 may actually seem quite daunting if you're a total beginner.
But actually, if you take them frontside, where as you rotate, your chest is facing the direction of travel,
it might take a couple of days of practice for it to click, but once it clicks, you'll realize just how easy this trick is. And it looks absolutely sick. You can pepper it in on any kind of downhill road, and it's a perfect way to improve your combos as you start becoming a more advanced rider.
And with the trick so far, you should be able to do a combo a bit like this.
So finally, it's actually going to be the cab 180 because it mixes in a few of the tricks that I've mentioned already. From the technique that's involved in doing the Ollie to doing the 360 spin.
And then the frontside 180.
And the trick is to do a backside 180 spin into a frontside 180. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning this in an easy beginner's tutorial is because it's the easiest freeboard combo that you can learn, in my opinion. You're really starting to merge 2 tricks together, namely a spin with a jump 180. This kind of gives you the rotational momentum before you do the jump 180. This is why this is the #1 beginner trick that you should learn on the freeboard.
If you manage to learn these tricks, then you will be doing some serious freestyle combos in no time. If you're new to freeboarding and looking to pick one up, then I have a link below if you'd like to support the channel in the process. Otherwise, on the left, I'll leave a link to the biggest freeboard adventure we've done, which will show you more of what the sport is really about. And on the right, it will be the first time we ever went snowboarding after a year of freeboarding. Otherwise, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have a good one.
Subscribe to Subscribe! More!